Hi, today I'm going to talk about ways that you can deal with emotional triggers in your relationship, and I'm going to give you some tips to help you manage your triggers when they occur. And just a little side note here, I am not a psychologist or a therapist. The information I'm about to provide here is for educational purposes based on my own experiences. If you feel that you do suffer from emotional triggers, I highly advise that you please seek professional help. So if you know that you have emotional triggers or you suspect that you might have them, but you're not sure exactly what they are, being emotionally triggered is when something such as a smell, a taste, a sound, or someone or something that someone does or says prompts you to have a strong emotional and physical reaction. So you get hit by this series of intense, uncomfortable feelings that are not aligned with whatever is happening because you're actually not reacting to what's happening now, but rather you're responding to something deeper from your past. The commonality that all triggers have is that they are so unexpected. So let me start by saying that we all have emotional triggers. It's nothing to feel ashamed of. They come from deep old wounds or stored trauma. Some examples of what triggers may feel like is your breathing becomes shallow, your heart starts racing, your body feels like it's shaking, or your chest might feel tight, or you go into dissociation mode. Now, these are just some of the symptoms that happen. There's so many scary things that go on here. Your nervous system is activated and you don't feel safe. So your brain is on fight or flight response. So being in a relationship when you have unmanaged emotional triggers can be even more challenging because our emotional reaction to our triggers are so misproportioned to reality that our partner will not understand and most likely take offense and or feel that they are under attack. And furthermore, your ability to convey to your partner what is actually happening with you might be hindered by your own fears and insecurities. You might feel embarrassed, ashamed, or fear being judged or ridiculed. But it's really important to push through and get a hold of your triggers, not just for your relationships, but for your own well being, your own self care. We need to learn to recognize and manage our emotional triggers because if we don't, they can really negatively impact our lives. Many people report having emotional triggers that help them back from living their full potential. So let's talk about your specific triggers. If you know that you have triggers, think about what emotions come up when you are triggered. Do you get angry or sad, or do you feel jealous or overwhelmed? And where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your chest or your stomach, for example? And what do you feel? Does your breathing become shallow? Do you feel like your heart is pounding out of your chest? Does your mind go blank? And do you have trouble regulating yourself or calming yourself down when this happens? Write down all of your experiences with emotional triggers. Now, here are some ways that can help you manage your emotional triggers. Number one, take a break or take a step back. You never want to respond to your partner from a triggered place. If you do, you will either act out as a victim where your partner becomes the villain and is trying to hurt you, or you find yourself reacting with righteous anger. You did this to me. You're making me feel this way. You're wrong, blah, 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 blah. Either way, your partner might get counter triggered. They will perceive your reaction as a direct attack or judgment on them, which will cause a series of back and forth fights and disagreements until eventually someone just checks out. Instead, let your partner know that you're feeling triggered and that you need to take a little time to self regulate. If you have the type of relationship where you know that your partner is eager to help, ask them to help you. If you do not have this type of relationship or you're not yet comfortable with divulging information about your emotional triggers, then tell your partner that you're feeling uncomfortable or uneasy, etc., and that you're just going to step away to calm yourself down. Give them an estimated time when you will be back and where you'll be calling them back. This is consciously disengaging. So by letting your partner know that you are stepping away for an hour or so, however much time you need, your partner will understand that you're genuinely trying to calm down and figure things out, as opposed to abandoning them or punishing them. Number two, self-regulate or calm yourself down. Once you step away, use breathing exercises to help you regulate. Deep belly breaths are really effective because when your nervous system is activated and your brain is on fight or flight response, taking these belly breaths will really help because it'll start to slow everything down. It'll start to relax you and calm your body down. And after a few moments, your brain will start receiving the message that, hey, everything's slowing down now. So I guess there's really no danger here. And after a little while, your mind and your body will be able to be in sync and in tune. And just a quick note here, it's really important to practice belly breaths prior to having an emotional trigger so that you can do them properly when they happen. And if you want an example of belly breath, you can go on my website, myselftruly.com, and I have some examples there. Number 3, separate the facts from fiction in your story. So as soon as you start thinking those irrational thoughts, picture a big neon stop sign or a caution sign. This will remind you that you know you're not responding to the present. Remind yourself that when you are triggered, your ego is telling you a warped version of what's actually going on, and it's most likely turning you into a victim in this story. It does this to protect you. So after you have calmed yourself down with the belly breathing and you feel that you're coming back to the present reality, take a look at what just happened. Retrace your steps. Can you pinpoint what you were doing or what the particular moment was when you started to feel those negative emotions or you felt that trigger coming on? By practicing separating the ego story from what is really happening, you will be able to become the observer of your emotions, take away some of the trigger's power, and then you'll be able to choose a better reaction. Now, this does take a lot of practice, but if you're patient and you don't give up, you will find that it will gradually get easier. Number 4, self-acceptance. Acknowledge your feelings and accept what's happening. Don't dismiss them. You don't need to dismiss your emotions. Listen to them without judging yourself or falling into the negative self-talk or beating yourself up for feeling this way. Accept that you have triggers. Understand that most people have them and that they all come from a deeper place of fear, pain, or trauma that we carry from our past. Taking away the self-judgment will help you to look at them differently. You can then view the triggers as your mind's way of protecting you from danger and perhaps as a way of telling you that it's time to do a little self-healing work. And finally, number 5, work with a professional. If you know that you have emotional triggers and have not been able to get a handle on them, or you feel like they have been keeping you from moving forward in your life or living to your life's full potential, please seek professional help. There are many therapists that specialize in emotional triggers, and they have several approaches to doing this. And you want to have a set of tools ready to use them when this happens, right? Knowledge empowers you to move away from reaction mode and into self-care. So by paying close attention to your emotional triggers, what comes before the reaction, where they originate, and what the emotional and physical signs are, you can get a handle on them and maybe even heal them. And if you're comfortable enough to tell your partner and they agree to be on board and help you, believe it or not, this will bring the communication and health of your relationship to a whole new level. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos, and always check below for some free resources. And again, if you want more information on the belly breathing exercises or just more free resources, you can go on my website, myselftruly.com, and you can find some information there. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time. Take care.